Mixties presents the popcast. Hey, my name is Brian, that is Shane, and this is the popcast, and today we're talking about America's Got Talent live show 2. And obviously, you can see how I feel about last night's episode considering I am wearing my patent-pending tinfoil hat, which will be on sale at some point on mixtees.com, because we're all going to need it, guys. We're all going to need it. Shane?
Oh, is it? Okay, so all I really got to say about the show is this. It was a train wreck, man. I have never seen a show as jacked up as what we saw last night.
Hey, sorry, guys. Our show's a little late because we had technical difficulties.
I mean, I get it that it's a live show, but people must have got fired last night. I'm just assuming that there are several people lined up at the end and just shot and fired and said, do not come back. Because you cannot have technical difficulty so badly and then have acts that had major problems during their act, just in the actual completion of the act.
Yeah.
You know, there were so many problems last night. I mean, it was just weird. So, and of course, it makes for pretty good TV because I couldn't stop watching it. But at the same time, what the heck is going on with AGT this year?
So, yeah, no, I agree with you. And, you know, the amount of money and effort and manpower that goes into these live shows, you know, if it was like season 1 or 2 and, you know, they're still getting their feet, I would understand. But this is season 12. This is NBC. This is, you know, you can't have those kind of mistakes. And I gotta be honest, the tinfoil hat was, while I love the light show people, what are they called?
Light balance.
Light balance. I love light balance. Here's the problem with that. That technical problem they had was a huge benefit to them. You got to ask. Number one, how many takes was that? That was their dress rehearsal? You think they just ran through that dress rehearsal once? No. It was a dress rehearsal. They took the best take and they showed it to America. That's
true.
Is not fair to everybody else. And I like them. Like, I'm rooting for them. But dude,
I like light balance, but you're right. Fair is fair.
Fair is fair. And that wasn't fair. And I gotta be honest, while I'm not a fan of Damien Aditya, I don't like him whatsoever. I don't like his face. I don't like this show. I don't like his magic. I don't like
him either. I don't like that he does the same exact thing every time.
Yeah.
But
I feel like he got the shaft last night. You know, he wasn't able to do the same thing he always does because, you know, whatever.
But here's the question.
Technical issues.
Well, yeah. So whatever technical issues. But did he have a problem during his performance, and because they didn't want to have it be a messed up performance, they went ahead and just basically took blame for it? Is it his fault or is it the production company's fault? Like, whose fault? I want to know whose fault it is, because if it's the contestant's fault, then give him his X's and send him on his way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you, but that also begs a similar question. You know, Americana, our guy, because he did great last night.
Right.
My only problem with that is, like, how much of that was Americana and how much of that was the production staff? Because his backgrounds were ridiculously cool, and if they were able to pull that timing off, but they couldn't pull off, I don't know. It just seems fishy.
That's normal. Everybody gets a background. I mean, there's
so
many acts.
That wasn't a background. That was a timed background, dude. That was part of his act.
Right, but there's a lot of acts like that. There's tons of dance acts and different individual actors who do the exact same type of thing, who time their thing. There's lots of acts that have been like that.
They create the act.
No, well,
did Americana create that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a practice. I'm sure it was timed that way.
If Americana created that backdrop, he deserves $1 million right now.
Well, I'm sure he didn't maybe create. I'm sure there's people helping them create these backdrops. But what I'm saying is he might have said, here's my song, and he's probably got somebody coaching him. They all got people coaching him.
He did
but
good.
Here's my thing.
I'm not talking trash, but like...
No. But Damien, whatever his name is.
Damien Aditya.
Okay, but what if his hatch wouldn't open? What if his exit didn't open? And so what they did is they stopped it because he couldn't finish the performance. Now, is that a failure by the act, or is that a failure by the production? You know, is that a failure by AGT? You know, because it's obviously going to affect AGT if he can't complete his act. It's not going to be a great show. So whose fault is it? And
that's a great question.
You know, and so where does the blame go? I mean, that guy's definitely going home.
Yeah, there's a lot of production
sure.
questions, and I'm not in any way. I'm apathetic to whether he goes home or not. He's not very good, so I don't really care. But his performance, the last performance of the night, I might add, right? The last performance?
No, it wasn't last. The last one was the.
Sorry, it's the was Manny Harvey,
the deaf singer.
That was like the last one I remembered for some reason. His performance though, it sums up the whole night with all these issues. So I don't know if it was his fault or what, but there was a lot of problems last night.
Well, then how ridiculous was it to have him show up behind them and blow the fire extinguisher? It was so lame to see that happen. You know the act, it didn't happen. You know the whole thing. So here I am, and this was my surprise anyways. I was supposed to show up behind you, so here I am. I mean, it's just lame. And why didn't they show his practice session? Why didn't they go back? Because of the timing of the show, maybe they saw too much of his act already and they couldn't time it, because okay, maybe that's the answer. But the reality is it was very lame, and as a result, he's going to go home. I'm not unhappy. I don't like him. I don't like his act, but he's going home. I'm pretty much for sure.
I'm unhappy that's not fair. I don't like him per se, but I'm unhappy that's not fair. Just like I like Light Balance, but they got an unfair shot last night. I agree. You know,
there's been several acts this year that surprised me that they allowed them to see them on a screen. The girl who does the dancing on air, who the skydiving, and she dances or walks on the air. That's not performed live. That's filmed someplace else.
Yeah.
So
right,
you know, I don't agree with anything that has to be shot and that's not done live. I mean, that's not fair in my opinion. Even though no matter how cool it is.
Yeah. You can't make it a live show. You can't make it a live show. Okay, well, let's just start at the top, and I'm sure we have a lot. We have a lot to discuss today, boys and girls.
There is.
Number one, I want to thank everybody for commenting and interacting with us. Aside from the fact that's highly motivating for us to continue doing our show, we just love talking to other fans of AGT, especially whether you're like-minded or not. Being able to have that dialogue is so fantastic to us, and thank you so much for the Reddit subreddit for like continually, putting our stuff out there and having a conversation with us, and just really motivating, guys. Thank you very much.
Well, and I do want to say that our show gets put out to a lot of different groups. If you aren't already a part of the AGT subreddit on reddit.com, please go there, search it up. You're going to have a great time just communicating with everybody there. It's a fantastic subreddit that I don't feel has enough population. There should be a lot more people there participating.
A lot more people.
So if you're coming from one of the other locations that you see this show from, please spend some time on the subreddit and get behind some of the people there. We're
looking at you, subreddit. Facebook. We're looking at you. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also,
Twitter,
if you're watching on Facebook, come on and subscribe on YouTube. We need more YouTube viewers. Okay.
That way you can get us on your email.
Yes,
absolutely.
and you can get the alerts. So, that being said, thank you. Let's talk about the very first act, Brobots and Mandroids. What was your initial reactions with these guys?
It's been hard for me with this act because a couple things. The name just drives me crazy. I don't know what it is. It's just it's creepy to me.
It's weird.
It's weird, and then they had to kind of create their own story, which, my parents aren't going to let me do it, but I got a chance to win $1 million, and we're arguing about it. I don't get that.
My wife keeps doing that, bro. When they're like, my parents don't believe in dance, she's like, that's a good thing. You should go, but do your homework. Just go do your schoolwork.
But it's ridiculous as a one-time thing. Who knows? Anyways, so
like villainizing the parents, though, it's like makes no sense.
Their performance was better than I remember them being. I thought that their dancing was good. I thought it was very good. The only problem is that the act that was on last week was better. The jerk sauce
Jerk
people.
sauce guy.
Okay, they just jerk was better, and they're gone. So if robots and mandroids go through, it's going to be a shame.
I gotta say, when their act first started, that huge set piece in the back is sick, right?
Yeah, that was great.
I don't know if that was like projection or was legitimate, but it looked like it was legitimate, and it looked physical, and it looked awesome. I got one question though: the dude hanging in the middle of the contraption, where'd he go?
Yeah, great question. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a guy hanging in the middle of the contraption when it first started, and you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be cool," and then he just sort of fades off into the distance.
Show that clip over there, I guess.
No,
over there.
No,
over there. Show that clip over there. Okay, when you do when we're doing that. So I would like everybody to see, because I want to go back and see it. I don't remember that part.
NBC is super not cool with showing video, so I will show. It'll be a picture right now. Yeah, that guy hanging in the middle there. I don't know what the deal with that was. It started me off like anticipating this great performance, and then sort of fell flat because he disappeared, and they kept dancing. And I gotta say, I agree with Howie. I just didn't feel it was very busy. There wasn't a whole lot of wow. There's a lot of talent going on, but so hard to focus on anything that's really happening. And the angle that they shot it at for us as the audience, we're looking at, like, the camera was moving around too fast, and it's like straight on, so you can't see all the performance they're doing. They needed like more of a head-on, like third person shot. I don't know if they got shafted or if it was just too busy in general, but for me it was too busy. It didn't have the wow or whatever Howie was talking about, and I don't think they deserved a standing ovation. I feel like they just hand out standing ovations way too freely nowadays.
I think that Simon, Heidi, and Mel stood up because this was a step up for this group, robots, mandroids. I think it was a step up. It was a better performance than I've ever seen them give. And so I think that sometimes there's this artificial excitement from the judges just because they've done better. You know, maybe they're secretly rooting for them, so they stand. But you're right; it wasn't a standing ovation type of performance at all.
You're right, right. So yeah, I think they're going home. That's my prediction for them. You know, they're nice guys, they're talented, but there's no way they stick around, because Just Jerk was a better performance, and even them, I was like, meh, whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so next up was Celine Tam not doing Celine Dion, instead doing a Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston.
Mariah Carey, and I think it hurt her.
She did a duet. That little girl did a duet. That is way too much. I'm sorry, Mel B was totally right. Like, song was way too big and way too much going on for her.
I like this little girl. I like this act. I mean, I enjoyed her Celine. I don't even like Celine Dion songs very much, but I enjoyed this little girl performing. And last night, it felt like she was swallowed by the song. And you know, even though she came through, her smile was great, you know, and she was delivering it, it definitely felt like she was swallowed. And Mel gave really good, I think she really hit it on the head. And it's a disappointment. I think Celine's definitely going to go through. She was a favorite to actually be the #1 voted through act. So I'm pretty sure she'll still skate through, even if she drops to number, 4 or 5.
But she did a duet.
But you couldn't tell that. I couldn't tell that it was a duet.
No, but you can tell that there was parts that she stumbled a little bit. Not stumbled, but like she was playing catch up.
Yes, there was a weakness to her singing last night.
Right.
That's not typically there.
Because it was too big, too strong. It required 2 people. Right? It's hard to even criticize. She did a song that required 2 people, and she pulled it off as 1 person, and she's 9. And you're like, wow. Which brings this question that a few people have been talking about in the subreddits, on Facebook, and on these videos. I feel like NBC is missing an opportunity here. They should do a America's Got Talent Junior edition. And
Okay.
they should have a junior America's Got Talent, and they should put an age restriction, an age cap on that show, and do an age restriction on America's Got Talent. And they're not going to separate the audience. They're only going to gain new audience and being able to have 2 shows going out there the entire year. They can have 2 big shows that are money-making commercial grabs going out at different types of year, and all they will do is gain audience. Because I would watch both shows, and so would you, and most of the.
I would, you would, and a lot of people who are fanatics about AGT would. But I honestly think that this would have been better maybe 6 years ago, when AGT was in the middle of its stride. It's a great idea. Nobody wants a little kid to win the $1 million over adults who've been doing it for a long time. But I think now 12, now going into season 13, I don't know if they want to pay for a double production, which is pretty much what it would cost. I think it would be interesting. I love the idea. I wish they would have done it a long time ago.
I mean, it's obviously a moneymaker, though, right? It's like, why would they not want to pay for something that's making them more money than what they're putting out? Like, it's the business of TV.
We don't know exactly how much money they're making on the show at the moment.
I do know that last season the commercial grade was about the 1/4 of what it cost for Super Bowl commercials. I don't know if that's the same now.
It's a lot of money.
But considering that they have a commercial after every performance, and this year they've added performances for that purpose, you're looking at a ton of money every episode.
Well, I would support it if they did it after regular America's Got Talent. So let's say in October, they would start a kids show.
Right.
Maybe if they did a year-round type of thing, maybe they think people would get tired of the brand. I don't know. But it would be interesting to see it. You'd have to switch up the judges. Obviously, I don't know if these judges would go year round on this program.
No, switch it up. Have judges that are known for dealing with children. You know.
Well, there's a cooking show that does a youth. It's
MasterChef Junior.
MasterChef Junior, which actually is a very very good show.
Yeah.
So they've successfully done that.
Yeah,
as well.
And it's crazy because I watched MasterChef. I've been watching for years. And then I started watching MasterChef Junior because my kids were watching MasterChef with me, and I was like, I gotta show my kids MasterChef Junior. They fell in love, man. They're like rooting for people. They know their names. They're like, I want Billy to win. I'm like, yes, Billy's doing great. And we're watching it. They want to like cook, and it's.
Those kids cook better than I do, man.
Yeah, I know. I watch this thing too, and they're making scallops, and I'm like, how in the world does he even know how?
Who taught you how to do that?
Yeah, how does he even know what 2 minutes 2 minutes at 400 degrees? Like, how do you even know these numbers? Like, anyways, back to AGT. I feel like if they separate it, they'd have more audience. They'd be able to bring in more dough, and more people would be happy. Because I'd rather adults. Not that Celine Tam's bad, but I have a hard time understanding what they're going to do. If she wins, what are they going to do? Is she going to do a Vegas show? Doing Celine Dion songs? Yeah, at 9 years old. There's so many logistics.
Very few child acts end up doing Vegas shows. It's just even the even Grace Vanderwall last year they're still struggling to get some sort of a show for her. So, it's tough. I agree. I think it's a great idea. So, maybe AGT, if the producers end up getting, I'm sure somebody has got to have pitched this to them. I have a hard time believing that somebody hasn't pitched it. There's got to be a good reason. If anybody knows why NBC wouldn't do this, let us know. I'd love to hear.
Yeah, makes sense. America's Got Talent Junior. Okay, next up is the reason why some of you are watching this video right now. We talked about it yesterday. We're going to talk about it right now, and boy, do I have a lot to say about these guys. Mirror image. Oh. Okay, number one.
Holy cow.
Last night was their worst performance. It was awkward. It was cringy. It was just...
It was bad.
It's getting to the point where it's getting so bad, it's crossing over into the good. You know what I mean? It's not there yet.
You know what everybody was doing last night, bro? It was like this before the mirror image. mirror, like everybody's ready to vote in and get this crap acting mirror image, right? And as the act's going on, they're going, oh, I don't know if I can vote for them. I don't know.
That was me. I was like, yeah, babe, let's do this. I was like, honey, we're gonna vote for these guys. Come on, let's do it together. Yeah, and I'm like, listen to me. I'm
like, no.
What am I doing with my life? I had that moment where I'm like,
you're like re-examining your existence.
I don't know if I could do this. I'm not gonna sell my soul for these guys. That's for sure.
You know what's great is I said I was gonna vote my heart, so I did not have to vote for them, and that makes me very happy right now.
This was okay. So I showed you what I was like. Oh my, I can't do it. I find it like this.
You did it.
Because I felt like I told everybody here that we were gonna do it. Felt like it had to be done, but I gotta say, they were horrible.
It was bad.
Horrible.
The singing was awful. The dancing was a little better.
Dude,
Simon actually called it right.
He was like, I'm like, no one's clapping. Everybody's like, what?
What's sad is like there's a moment when they're singing where they hit the right note and they hold it for about 2 seconds and then they leave it and you're like, oh, it's really painful.
It was really bad.
I wish they would have just danced.
I do not think that anybody should be getting buzzed in live shows, but there was a moment at the end of that high note. I'm like, "Where's the buzzer, Simon? Stop this madness!"
I'm glad he did it at the end because I just don't.
He was being held back by his fellow judges. He tried to do it earlier.
What, did he really try?
Yeah.
Or was
Heidi and Mel B were holding his arms down.
Oh, I see. Well, they deserve. They're bad. So they're definitely the worst act out there,
hands down.
And as much as you like them as guys and animated 16-year-olds, and that's fine, but they really, yeah. So if the movement continues,
speaking of the age, bro,
yeah,
the super cringe, awkward.
Oh my gosh! I know what you're gonna say.
They'll be legal in a couple years. Like what?
Howie, Howie's old. Okay,
Howie wasn't the one that was weird. He was like making a joke, not realizing that they were 16.
Right, he forgot.
Tyra was like, well, they'll be legal in a couple years. I'm like, Tyra, shut up.
No, Tyra, listen. The first thing is, Tyra, put your boobs away.
Put them
please.
away.
I got my 8-year-olds like this.
I'm a red-blooded American man, and I'm telling you, this is a family show, girl. Please.
Put them away.
Not appropriate.
And listen,
they're just talking about, bam, they're everywhere. It's crazy.
Listen, talking about train wrecks here. What the heck's going on with Mel B's hair and her out? What's going on with that outfit and the hair?
Again, we're back here.
Lost her mind?
We shouldn't be talking about this because we're like,
I'm a dude.
We're dudes that don't care. But like, it's hard not to notice that she looks like some space version of Mel B from the future.
She looks like flock of seagulls, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. It's weird.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Mel.
She took her ring off, got single, and started getting weird, man.
I guess so.
Getting weird.
Anyways, so we're done being judgmental there. So mirror image.
Judgmental of judges. Yeah.
We are judges. That's right. Where are we? We're not judges.
No, we're not judges. No.
My 4-year-old says, "I'm the judge." I'm like, wow, he's 4. So
they could probably do a better job.
Probably. So mirror image. I don't know if they're going to get through. I think that nobody who looked at it honestly last night is going to vote for them.
Yeah. The only way they get through is if the internet did what they said they're going to do. And I feel like there is a lot of hypocritical people out there, or people that had their convictions were too strong. Yeah. Hit that button. Because I'm telling you, I did it like this. I'm holding my nose. Like, oh, like.
I think they'll end up in one of the middle. I think they'll end up in one of the middle groups, and then America will get to vote again. At least half of America, because if you're on the West Coast, of course, you don't get to vote.
I feel like we need to keep voting them through, though, guys. They are the worst. They're the worst act I've ever seen in 12 seasons of this show. That includes some of the acts that just came on just to be bad. They're horrible. But I feel like we need to vote them through. They need to be on the top 3 so that AGT, the producer at NBC, they get the message. This is what America wants? No way. There's a problem. And somebody goes online and Googles mirror image and sees all the million posts where they're like, AGT is horrible right now. We need to get this trash to the main stage. Someone needs to see that.
Okay, I respect your opinion. I'm going to say keep voting your heart. I really feel like there are a couple acts in there that I think should still deserve to win.
Hashtag save AGT. We got to do it together.
Just line up people and start firing them. If you want to vote for Mirror Image, go ahead and do that too. I'm going to enjoy whatever ends up happening. That's for sure.
Okay. So I also, by the way, voted for Americana. So I want to be clear. I thought, okay, no, we'll get to him. Sorry. Next up.
Yeah. I so far, I did not vote for any of the first 3 acts we talked about.
Okay. Next up was Johnny Manuel.
I definitely did not vote for Johnny Manuel.
I didn't vote for him, but I gotta say, he's a good singer. I don't personally get anything from him. I feel like he's just like a canned singer, that very generic in that style. He's an amazing singer, though. It's really hard. I don't want to talk trash because he is super talented. I feel like he was pushed a little bit by the producers and the judges on what to do, but he is very talented. But personally, I get nothing. His song choices do nothing for me. While I can tell that he has talent, I don't feel any connection to this dude at all.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I think. Back during Judge Cuts 1 or 2, I can't remember which one it was, there was a singer, male singer, that sang in the high range. And somewhere up in the high range sounded pretty decent. Ended up not making it through the cut because overall not a good singer. Johnny Manuel is a little better singer, but frankly speaking, he's only good in the high range. There's a lot of shouting going on. There's a lot of if he's singing a song like what he sang last night, he's gonna come across as good, but he cannot come back down into the low range. He started out the song in a low place, or not even low, in the mid range, and it just didn't sound good to start. And then when he went up high, that's when you could hear him. So I don't think I'm surprised. I think Simon has pegged this guy to go. I don't know if he's sincerely feeling the way he's feeling about Johnny Manuel. I don't feel it when he's singing. Seems like maybe you felt it a little bit there, but to me, I felt it was just too high pitched.
I didn't feel anything at all. I didn't vote for him. I
didn't vote for him.
Recognized that what he was doing was not easy and that he's talented, and that's.
I think he'll go through. I think so.
It wasn't highly unique. It was definitely sort of canned. You're right. He murdered those happy notes. He could not get down low.
He couldn't. Yeah. He's great at the high. I mean, he has a natural ability to sing the high notes and almost like one of the female singers that sang these songs. So. Yeah.
And his song choice is not great because I don't remember it now.
I didn't enjoy it. As he sang, and I'm telling you, I'm not going. It's a popular song on these shows.
You know what's funny is they were all praising him at the end, Simon, that he was the best act so far. And then the very next act, Simon said, "You're the best night of the act so far."
Yeah.
So Simon tells him, "You're the best act so far. I'm very proud of you." And then Americana comes on, and Simon says, "You're the best act so far." I'm like, okay,
hey,
well.
Merrick, we know you're watching, so Merrick, let me just tell you this one thing. I know you seem a little bit.
Why would he watch this?
So listen. So I think that Merrick has been a little bit. He's been on the Reddit subreddit. He's kind of a little nervous about what's going to happen. You have Simon firmly in your corner, and that is a good thing for you. So don't take heart. You had a great performance last night, and I really think that he's gonna go through. He got my votes last night.
That performance was fantastic. The dancing was great. The visuals were stunning.
Timing was fantastic.
My only criticism is, like I said before, were those his visuals? Because it seemed like that those visuals were amazing and the time was amazing, but it could that would not have been as good without, instead of being something that amplified his abilities, it was sort of necessary to the show. So the production of the background was necessary for Americana's show last night.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. There's not some director upstairs going, hit number 1, hit number 2. That's not how it works with these productions. It's a pre-choreographed light show that's programmed. So if he did have help, it was before his performance, and he had to manage his timing to the light magic.
That's
behind
fair. In that case, man, well done. It's super unique. I always love those acts where they dance with the screens, but a lot of the times they're either too much of the screen or too much of the dance, and it's really hard to follow. But in this instance, it was very easy to follow, and when the screen would move up and down and move, his movements with it really made me feel like he was a part of those visuals, and it was great.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. I couldn't agree. The last 30 seconds of his act was seamless. He felt he was a part of the background.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
So well done, Merrick. I voted for you, man. I voted for you and Mirror Image.
Yep.
That's it.
I did. I voted for Merrick. And that was it so far.
And here's the difference, Merrick. I voted for Americana because you're talented and I want you to win. I voted for Mirror Image because it's a meme. Big difference.
Yeah, definitely. Merrick was definitely the better performer.
Okay, next up was Eric Jones, and I have a very contentious, is that the word, relationship with this guy's act.
I gotta apologize to somebody. Mr. Patterson, Cody, if you're watching, I'm gonna apologize because I'm gonna do something you're not gonna like in a second. Go ahead, Brian.
I don't know who the heck that is, but Eric Jones had a very unique. He took the whole transfer glass magic trick that we've seen a million times, and he did it like 4 times, right, or 3 times. And while I can't tell you exactly how he did it, I have seen it before. I've seen a version of this multiple times with multiple musicians. His showmanship's a little bit rough. I mean, it was fun to watch, but I feel like the timing was really rushed because he was trying to fit all those glass transfers in one act, and some of it's up close and some of it's not. I feel like he should have really focused on him walking through the glass trick as the majority of his performance versus all the other stuff he did.
Okay.
That's it for me. What do you got?
Well, Cody is one of our first people who really talked to us about AGT since we started covering this season. He's been very vocal.
What's up,
yeah, and but he also did not like that I would give away the magic acts. He was the commenter that didn't like it. So I just want to say right now that Eric Jones failed last night.
Don't worry, I'm gonna mute him when he starts talking about how he did it.
I'm not going to
mute. I'm kidding.
I'm not going to give away what he did, but I'm going to tell you that he failed in his magic last night. I will say the one thing I am going to give away is that when Howie signed the card, he signed it diagonally, and it went across the X line. That he said sign along on the line. Howie signed it across, and his signature went across the line. The card that came out across the glass had a perfectly vertical signature. So. And that was obvious to not only me, but there's a lot of people on the subreddit actually talking about it right now. So that was really not a failure. The camera's positioning for his pulling the card through the glass was terrible because we actually did not get to see, like in a Chris Angel show, which is kind of I wouldn't say a ripoff of Chris Angel, but Chris Angel made this more popular, the passing through glass. The camera angle that the audience got, we only saw the card. We actually did not get to see any of the glass. And so we actually did not get to see the transition. I could tell you how the passing through glass was done. I'm not going to do that because it ruins it. But I will say that I feel like Eric Jones, not only is his showmanship suffering right now, but I feel like the only act that really went off last night was the ability to pass the chip through the glass, which I thought he did very well.
But that one is so easy to do. Like,
Well, he even messed up when
I can
he
do
gave
that trick.
well, when he gave Howie his card, it was a fumble that happened in there
Yeah, it was
that
like
was
sign
like,
it right here.
and you could see the force. You could actually see the force of the card. If you know anything about Magic, people, you could see it, and I'm like, maybe the audience was able to enjoy it. If you know a little bit about Magic, not even a lot,
Not even a
then you would
lot,
have
yeah. You watch
did
Penn
do
and
well.
Teller. Yeah, here's the deal too. Celebrities are really easy to do this trick with because they have very similar signatures. Remember that, everybody.
Right. It's
Okay,
true.
and that's what we'll end it just for Cody. Okay, if Cody wants
Yeah.
to know,
So I
all
did
you
not
gotta do is
vote for
Google
Eric.
it.
Yeah, I did not vote for Eric Jones.
No, I didn't vote. I didn't vote for anybody else actually, because there's a lot of problems going forward. Anyways, okay. So the next act was the Masqueraders, and I gotta be honest, guys. About a minute into it, I fast forwarded to the next thing.
I feel so bad for these guys, Brian. I feel so bad for them. I tell you, it was a great pre-story. One of my favorite, like, pre-story to get to kind
Yeah.
of hear that they recorded at the same time Elvis did, met Elvis. That they were there during the assassination of Martin Luther King. That was really cool. But for the Masqueraders, that was God's way of letting you down easy, because the song that you were going to record was not very good. And I mean, I hate to say that because they are great old elderly gentlemen, and maybe in their time it would have got some airplay, but it was not going to be a blockbuster sounding song. They would have done much better for themselves playing some other Motown music or something else that was popular that people today can kind of embrace with, because that song did not come through the way they wanted to. I'm glad that they got to play it in front of a nationwide audience for the first time, but it made absolutely no connection. It was so boring that I think that they're going to go home as a result.
Heavily produced, really overproduced. I think it was what Mel said that, right? It
Yeah.
was a lot going on, very busy. Nothing about it was catchy.
It was weak background vocals.
Yeah,
The
this
lead
was
singer
me. I was like,
you
fast forward, and then I stopped
Yeah.
for a minute. Nope, let's get through this. Come on. It just wasn't. It wasn't good, and I feel the same way. I feel like they had a good shot. They should have kept singing music that we already knew. I love original music. I think that if you're able to pull off original music, then you get extra points in my book. Like that other guy that was dropped unceremoniously that we liked so much. If you can pull off original music and it's good, then you deserve extra points. You deserve an extra, attaboy. But if you can't, you shouldn't try.
Yeah, and especially when you're going back 40 years, when you're going back 40 or 50 years with the music, it's hard to do something that's your own, that's so old, when there's already very few songs that people can relate to that are 40 or 50 years old. So it was just a lose-lose situation. And maybe they were doing it because it was more important to them to get their song out there. And I respect that, but I think it might be their downfall.
I agree. Okay, next up was Light Balance. And the only reason I didn't vote for them, because I liked their act a lot. Their act was great. Was because they got an unfair advantage.
I did. I felt like they had an unfair advantage, but I did vote for them. So Merrick and Light Balance were two of the three people I voted for. I felt like Light Balance. I don't know exactly what went wrong, and if same thing for them. If it was on them, the reason why they couldn't go forward, somebody didn't charge their batteries or something like that. I don't know. That's on them. Being able to do their performance. But what I did see, I absolutely liked.
I did
too. I liked their last one, and I just this is what America's Got Talent should be about.
I love these guys.
And so I voted my heart, and so I voted for them.
Yeah, and I voted my heart too by not voting for them because I love them, but they got what they showed America was their best performance.
So let me ask you a question.
It was their best performance, the one they decided to keep, for the commercials and for the random cuts and all that.
Right. Well, let me ask you a question. In all fairness, okay, let's throw the other side of the coin at this, because people watching this want to see the other side. Your America's Got Talent, something didn't go off. What happens? Do they just not perform?
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If it's their fault, it's their fault. If it's truly America's Got Talent's fault, then cut to commercial and come back when you get the problem solved. I mean,
Okay.
let's be honest. They don't have a problem cutting the commercial. It's act commercial, act commercial, act commercial, 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 act commercial, 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 act.
Can I tell you what I think they should have done?
What?
I think they should have announced that the act was not going to take place tonight, and they should have moved it to another live show.
Okay.
I feel like that's what they should have did.
Yeah.
Or they should have just changed it up. They should have just made a decision on the spot that something wasn't going to work, and we'll bring them back to another show so that we can get their performance. That's
right.
In my opinion, that's what they should have done.
Or
that's what I thought they were going to do.
They could have put Evie Claire, Damian, whatever, Pompey, Mamie Harvey, anybody else that's still remaining, especially if it's a singing act, doesn't require a huge set piece. Put them, have them go on, and go and fix their problem. Put them on last or whenever.
So what does that tell you? That tells me that whatever the problem was not fixable last night.
Right.
So whatever it was that happened, it was not fixable. And I really hope that it comes out what was wrong, because I want to know. I want to know what made us change how the show works.
And you're talking to people, you guys are listening to people that like them. You know, we want to see them go forward, but we also have a problem with anybody that has a unfair advantage, i.e. being
Nobody
able
gets
to
a free
sing
pass.
2 songs because your first song wasn't very good.
Right, Johnny Manuel.
You know, getting buzzed in a live show during your performance as Puddles was probably the most messed up thing in 12 seasons the show has done.
Terrible.
Hands down. Just messed up. And, you know, I'm never going to let that go. As long as I keep doing this show, I'll keep bringing that up.
I'm still hoping we see Puddles. I'm kind of hoping they'll bring him back.
Wild cards for Judge Cut. I don't think we're going to get Puddles for again. And, you know, he's back to doing YouTube videos every Tuesday and Friday, so obviously he's not even doing the show anymore.
Well, that's true, but I guess America decided, although Bello got to come back for one of the live shows.
But Bello wasn't cut in the live show. He was cut in Judge Cuts.
That's true.
So, you know, we don't like unfair advantages. We don't like unfair advantages or disadvantages, whether we like you or not. And while we felt that Puddles got a huge shaft from the judges, and you know, we felt Johnny Manuel got to go twice, you know, and he got a favor from the judges, and so did Lounge Singer. What's her name? Twice. You know, they got to go twice, and people are getting
but
more
I
airtime.
I think in the initial, but I think in your initial audition that happens quite often. So I'm less
sure
judging of that in the initial audition.
But Johnny Manuel and Judge Cuts.
But that was Judge Cuts. You know, they had a guest judge. You know, so it was kind of unfair, so that Seal could see what the guy could really do and get the goal. And he got the golden buzzer.
Right.
So that's kind of why I feel that way about that. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you wherever you're going on this.
Yeah. So that's it. But we do love light balance, and I do hope to get marked through. I just felt like it was unfair, so I didn't vote for him.
They got my votes for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody else voted for him. Like it was a fantastic show. Again, you know, you can't just like turn on a YouTube video and be like, "Here's my audition." That's not fair, dude. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Next up was Evie Claire. Great. I mean, what do you want?
Evie. Okay, so Evie's. First off, I couldn't stop during Evie's performance. I couldn't stop wondering how the heck they got so many candles set up so fast for the act, because there's little I don't know if they bring it out in pieces. This is where my mind's going. There's candles surrounding her as she's at the piano. Number 2, she's at the piano. Impressive. That's another talent that I don't think she's done that before.
No, it's huge.
That was very cool. Number 3, the song she chose was just okay. But because of her personal story, which I'm connected to, I mean, her dad could not make it to the live show because of his illness on his anniversary with his wife. So the man is probably dying. He's got stage 4 cancer, colon cancer, and he could not be there. I mean, what that means for him not to be able to be there, I mean, if that's one of the last great things that's going to happen in your life, you're going to be there no matter what happens. So the fact that he couldn't be there, I can only imagine what his daughter's going through emotionally. And to be able to still pull off that performance, she got 10 votes from me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. To be able to keep it together, to be able to sing a song that was beautiful, not amazing, but beautiful and touching and feeling under that kind of pressure, that girl deserves votes. And so she was actually the third person I voted for last
Yeah, I agree with you. She did good. I have nothing. I'm not gonna. There's nothing negative for me to say.
Yeah.
It was good. That's it. I got
Yeah.
feel sorry a little bit for the next act, Damien Adida. Had to follow that up with that train wreck.
Can I just say that with Damien, who was doing the I guess he was doing the death drop. He was up inside the
It was supposed to drop and like explode, and he's
explode,
not there.
and he's not there, right? Yeah. So if the act had begun and it was dark and Boobs McGee ran out on the stage and said, "Oh, sorry, we have a technical difficulty," I think I would have been a little more understanding. My major problem with this one is that we got 75% of the way through the act, and then unceremoniously, everybody just kind of looked around and said, "Whoa, what's going on?" And then all of a sudden, there was a technical difficulty. Yeah, where's he at? Come on. I mean, there's something majorly wrong happened there.
Yeah.
And I have just a sneaking suspicion it has something to do with his act as opposed to something to do with the production company.
I agree.
So, and I'm not unhappy because we had his crying wife in the audience. They still had to cut to her looking, oh my gosh, which I don't know why that was the case. She even did that like a long time after he was up there, and the act had gone bad, and they're still cutting to her, and she's looking scared. I'm sorry. Please, just let them go home this week.
Yeah, let them go home. Okay.
Just let them go.
Let them die. Stop. Get them off life support, please. Let's let them go. We're done.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I don't need to see another week where he disappears and shows up on stage.
Yes, drawing out this failure is just cruel. It's cruel to him, to Americans, to everybody.
I don't know how anybody except his friends and family can vote for him last night, unless you felt sorry for him or something. I can't imagine. I honestly believe that he'll be the number 12th voted thing last night.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, next up was the Pompeo family.
Man, I got to tell you, I was so disappointed by this act. I mean, I love their costumes and that they did the whole Katy Perry roar thing and they did this jungle thing. But did you notice that, like, basically everything they did was exactly the same as the last show?
Yeah, it was the same show, but to a different song and with the little costume. Dogs in lion manes, which I thought was adorable. But
and that's the problem with dog acts or with animal acts is you're limited to how many things you can do. And so when you have so many shows, you got to do something different. I mean, I think they did make the climb a little taller, and they did have the bigger jump at the end up a ramp. I guess the bigger poodle did a jump through the hoop. So there were a couple things different, but gosh, it felt like the exact same thing. Move it to another place.
Yeah.
Move the climb. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm tired of the conga line at the end. I don't know.
The conga line is just.
It's old. It's time to.
I got nothing,
I feel it's like the chicken. How many times could the chicken have played the song if it had continued to go through? I mean, there's only so much of this Pompeo family. The cute kid, the cute family. It's just. I mean, they're probably going to go through because they're an animal act, but
non-threatening dad, beautiful mother, adorable child, crazy little cute dogs.
Yeah.
Again, this needs to be a reality show somewhere and not an act on America's Got Talent. And you know what? If it was a reality show called the Pompeo Clan or whatever, I'd watch it.
On Animal Planet.
Yeah, on Animal Planet. I would watch it. I'd watch the hell out of that show.
Don't be surprised if that actually doesn't end up happening at some point because it very well might.
I hope Simon introduces the Pompeo family to that guy that was on the radio a million years ago that does Kim Kardashian stuff. Oh, God. Whatever his name is. and they got a new show on the E network. You know.
I totally just drew a blank. I felt like I was listening to something in Martian, so I must not know what you're talking about.
So that one guy that was on Kiss FM 20 years ago is now like the producer of all these E reality shows.
Okay.
I forgot his name. I don't know how I forgot his name, but I did. If you know his name, please tell us below.
Yeah, let us know. We love it when you guys
He used to be a radio host on Kiss FM 102.7 in 1998. And now he's like the producer of the majority of these reality shows on the E network.
Okay. Well, you know, speaking of our people who comment for us, we had a guy come in yesterday or somebody come in yesterday and actually tell us it was Sanjaya that was the American Idol contestant that kind of kept getting voted through week after week. And the judges were finally like, please stop.
Ryan Seacrest.
Oh my gosh. You couldn't remember Ryan Seacrest?
I couldn't. Thank you, Google. I appreciate it, Google.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, Ryan
Seacrest.
Seacrest.
Dumb that I didn't know what you were talking about.
Simon
and he's not, by the way, why don't you say not the guy who was on K-Rock, the guy who was on who was the host of American Idol for years and years and years.
Right.
That would have sounded a lot better.
Yeah, I remember him from 1996, my senior year of high school, listening to Wagga whatever on 102.7.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, Ryan Seacrest. Yeah, Simon needs to introduce him, Ryan Seacrest. Okay, the next
Which would be hard since they know each other.
Yeah, they're great friends. The next up is the last act of the show. Also, Simon's golden buzzer pick is Mandy Harvey.
Yeah,
She's
let me give it. Hey, Mandy.
Deaf musician.
Last night,
very
she did
talented.
Great.
Stunning performance. Again, I got no real criticism.
Last night was a really good performance for her. I did not like her first performance that she got the golden buzzer. Last night, she really had her voice was beautiful. The song didn't knock me out of the park, but I felt like the criticism, what she was told was like she sounded like an angel. I said, that's kind of like what an angel, what you imagine it would sound like. And she did it, you know, being tone deaf basically. And she did it without a lot of background stuff.
Right.
It was her voice,
her.
and it was her, and I really thought it was good, and probably what I'm guessing would be either the first or second or third best performance of the evening.
She did very good. I have no criticism. Good job.
She should go through.
She should go through, and I'm pretty sure she will. Her story is tragic. Her talent is amazing, and she's just made for that stage.
This is perfect for her.
You got to remember, everybody, moving on from her, that if Mirror Image is in the middle three tomorrow, then we got to pound that dunk and save button, and we got to get them through. Okay?
Well, okay. Now, okay, I'll go with that, with what Brian's saying. But if somehow Merrick Hanna is also there, then I'm going to say you need to vote for Merrick over Mirror Image.
Memes aside, if Merrick Hanna is with Mirror Image in the dunk and save, then screw Mirror Image. Okay? Get Merrick Hanna through. He's a real talent.
Yes.
But if it's him and whoever cares acts, Mirror Image and whoever cares, get Mirror Image through. Get them through, guys. Dunk and save those creepy weirdos.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, you know what? I feel the same way. Even though we won't get to vote on the West Coast, and I keep repeating that a lot because it irritates me, because it's live on the East Coast and then it's redone for us. That really frustrates me that we don't get to participate in this dunk and save vote.
There's a way you can.
You have to time it earlier.
Yeah.
And you got to find out the results.
So remember, the show's on at 8 p.m. Pacific, right? So if you turn on your app at 5 p.m., you'll see which acts are dunk and save.
There you go. So it'll ruin your show for you a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But if you're okay with that and you want to participate in this, then do that. Open the app at 5 if you're on the West Coast and give it. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to do that. I'll do that. If it's nobody I care about next to Mirror Image, then they'll get my votes as well.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we'll be back tomorrow with our results.
Hold on a sec.
What's up?
Hold on a sec. Before we go,
what's up?
We need to predict who's going to go home.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Shane.
Yes.
I had forgotten about that part. Okay, I think
I'll count yours. Go for it.
Okay.
5X.
I think Brobots, Mandroids.
Okay. Yep.
I think Eric Jones.
Okay.
Masqueraders.
All right.
Damien Aditya.
Nice.
And probably Mirror Image.
Okay. Dude, I gotta tell you, I completely agree with you 100% on those 5.
Those are probably
I think
the 5.
that's exactly what's gonna happen.
I'm hoping meme Mirror Image through, but those are probably the 5.
I secretly hope that Mirror Image will beat out Johnny Manuel. But besides that,
how great would that? How validating would that be if they win over Johnny? And Johnny Manuel's gonna look at these guys like, what the hell?
What? Yeah, exactly. So I would love to see that happen, but I have a feeling that the 5 you just chose will be the 5 going home.
Yes. And we'll know. We'll know tomorrow, and we'll do our reaction recap tomorrow. And I'm sure it's going to be a doozy, so come on back. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, criticism, if you think that we're retarded and you need to tell us what we just said wrong, please do so in the comments below. We will respond to you. We appreciate all interaction. Please make sure to subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Follow, like if you're a subscriber, and hit that share button if you care about people getting here. Don't forget, don't forget our 200 subscriber count.
Listen, and also subscribe. It's important to subscribe because you get that email alert, so you don't have to go back and check to see whether we're there or whether we're uploading.
Hit the alert. Hit the little bell next to it if you really care about saying it on time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so hit the bell and do a subscribe,
and we're really
and that'll
close.
Get you the show.
We're super close to 200 subscribers. When we get to 200 subscribers, we're going to pick one of you guys to get a sweet care package from the boys at mixtees.com.
Absolutely.
You can also find us on facebook.com/mixtees, twitter.com/mixtees, and of course, youtube.com/mixtees. We will be back tomorrow. See you then.
See you tomorrow.